Om Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to another Yoga Small Talk, and we continue with 7 minutes Bhagavad Gita a day. We are reading from chapter 4 and we have reached verse 16 and we will read together. 16. What is action? What is inaction? As to this, even the wise are confused. Therefore, I shall teach thee such action, the nature of action and inaction, by knowing which thou shalt be liberated from the evil of samsara, the wheel of birth and death. So we are starting a new topic. It is seemingly new. Actually, this matter have been discussed before. Chapter 2, chapter 3, and it's all in response to Arjuna's predicament. Arjuna needs to go and fight. He's a warrior. There is a war. He's fighting on the side of the good guys. He needs to go and fight so that good will prevail and dharma will be re-established. This is his duty. But when he goes to the battlefield, he sees relatives, teachers, friends, and he doesn't want to fight. So he comes up with a solution. I will renounce. I'll renounce the world. I'll become a Swami. I'll go be a mendicant, live on alms, and this is it. I will not have to engage in this terrible action that in no way will bring me any happiness. Whether I succeed, whether I do not succeed, I will not be happy. So I want to renounce. And Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, teaching in many, many forms, this renunciation that you are contemplating is not renunciation. Because true renunciation is inaction. But not in action in the sense that the body is not working, not doing something. In action in the sense that you really understand what action is, what inaction is, and you know how to apply this knowledge. It's a realization. And this repetition is also an opportunity to touch another important subject, which is how do we study yoga? So many of us are used to studying in the check the box system. You know, when we are at school, we go and we learn something, we pass the exam, check the box. I know it. We read the book and then somebody comes and tries to tell us something about the book and we say, I know it. Sometimes we even know by heart, you know, what they are going to say, so I know it. It's intellectual knowledge, but we check the box. I know, and that's it. There is no need to repeat. And if somebody is repeating, we are sometimes polite, and sometimes, you know, we get bored and we just walk away or stuff like this. And in yoga, it is not like that. In yoga, the intellectual knowledge has some significance because we have to start somewhere, but it is definitely not the goal. What we have in the intellect will not take us to where we want to get, will not bring us the realization. In yoga, knowledge is experience. So even if I know the whole Bhagavad Gita by heart and I chant it twice a day, and I don't live in the light of any of the verses, it won't take me too far. Yes, the intellectual knowledge will purify my intellect, will purify my mind. It's a means, but it is not the end. So again, Lord Krishna is saying, again, Lord Krishna is saying, again, Lord Krishna is saying, because obviously we didn't get it. We see through the eyes of Arjuna that he says, okay, yes, I hear what you're saying, but attachment is still there, desire is still there. For some of us, fear is still there. Everything is still there. So yes, we can recite the text, but it's not our experience, it's not my experience that I am not the agent. We will see it soon. It's not my experience that I'm not this body, I'm not this mind. If something threatens this body, I feel very threatened. I get a lot of fear. So it's not my experience what is told here. And therefore repetition and repetition and repetition and repetition to help us. It's out of compassion. It is to help us have a better chance of really knowing, which is by experience. And this is why it's the same topics. There will not be too much new stuff. It will come from different angles, but basically it's the same, repeating itself again and again and again out of compassion for us. So first, through the repetition itself, we get a benefit. We hear the scripture, we study the scripture, our mind is purified. Some of the samskaras, the latent impressions that we have in the mind, get changed with more subtle ones, with ones that will bring us closer to true knowledge. And the more we contemplate in yoga, you hear the teachings, you need to meditate on it. You need to let it sit with you and see how it can turn into an experience. So the more we hear it, the more we meditate on it, the more it resonates in our mind, the more chance we have to get closer to really knowing, which is to experience. So this was just a little bit about how yoga is studied and why all those repetitions keep coming and coming and coming. And in the next videos, we will of course see the verse itself and discuss its meaning and the teaching. So please join us. Om Shanti.